Hello. Alrighty. My apologies for the late video. I was we'll say incapacitated for a while and had to get all my ducks in order to make a video for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to separate the videos. I'll do question one first, and then I'll do question two second. So I think that'll be probably the better way to handle this, and it should help. So when I was looking at the first question, it dealt with a projectile, which is really interesting. I believe, let me get the exact question that you sent me. It was the equation of a parabola is y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constants. The xy coordinates of a projectile launched from the original origin as a function of time given by x is equal to v I x t and y is equal to y I y t minus 1/2 gt squared, where v naught x and v naught y are components of the initial velocity. Eliminate t from these two equations and show that the path of the projectile is a parabola that has the form of y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. All right. To tackle that, the first thing we need to do is to eliminate t, we can take the x variable. So let me share my screen so you can see. So here is a whiteboard, and what we want to write down is the information that was given to us. Information that was given to us will be is we have x is equal to v naught x of t. So this is x is equal to v naught x of t. V naught just means the initial velocity at which we're throwing the projectile. So when we take our arm and we're ready to throw it, this is the initial velocity. It's zero. It's not moving whatsoever as of yet. And now what we want to do is we want to solve for t, that we can replace those essentially those variables that is given into the y equation. So we could have just an equation specifically dedicated to y. So the y that they gave us, I believe, hold on one second, let me pull that question up again. It was y is equal to v initial y. So it's y is equal to v initial uh or vi, we could say vi initial y of t. And then we can say what else? There is a t. I got t minus 1/2 gt squared. So what we essentially want to do is just solve for t here and plug it into this equation. So how do I do that? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I see that I have a v naught x times t. So I'm just going to divide by v naught x on both sides. And I'm going to get t is equal to x over v naught x. And now I have a form for t, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to plug it inside of y. So I'm just going to take this guy right here and plug him into here. So I'm going to get y is equal to v, I think they had iy, so maybe we can get rid of that v naught, just so you don't get confused. And whenever I see a t, I'm going to replace it with x over v naught x times t minus 1/2 g, and then instead of having, we'll say t squared, I'm just going to have x over v naught x times that squared. Now, the question didn't talk about sines or cosines, but I know that when usually you do this problem, there are sines and cosines, but I think since the question failed to talk about the sines and cosines, you can just, we'll say, play with the variables and get a fixed set equation. So I don't think there's a need for cosine at all in this problem because it didn't mention the cosine, but usually sines and cosines appear. And I think the previous video that I sent you before had cosines and sines in them. All right, so what we're just going to do is we're just going to expand this, put it first, and that'll be our ax squared plus our bx or our bt. Hold on, there should be a t there. I apologize. T should be gone. There we go. Get rid of that t. And then if you just have y is equal to negative 1/2 g of x divided by v naught of x, but this should be an x squared, and it should be a v squared, plus viy x over v naught x. And that should be uh the that should be what they're looking for in portion A of this question. And now the next thing it says, what are the values of A, B, and C for the projectile? Well, to get those values, they I believe they gave you values. Let's see, it says what are the values of A, B, and C. Oh, it doesn't really tell us the values. So all we gotta do is say what A is, what B is, and what C is. The cool thing is there's no C. There's no, we'll say, constant term. There's no term that doesn't have a variable. So that means right then and there, C is equal to 0. And now B is the number that's in front of the variable, or the number that's in front that replaced T. So what I'm going to say is this, that B is just going to be, and keep in mind, it's the one without the X. So it's going to be VIY divided by V naught X. And that's the B term. So that's going to be the portion B. And now A is just going to be the term in front of the x squared. And the term in front of the x squared, that's going to be negative g all over 2 times v naught x squared. So that's how we get the portion B. So all we're essentially doing is taking the terms in front of the variable. So your professor is just trying to get you to, we'll say, play with variables and understand how variables are working. All right, and that's how we do question 1. I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to send up a follow-up video for the second question that you sent me. All right.